Welcome to Mindfully Integrative Podcast with your host, Dr. Damaris G. Mindfully Integrative is a podcast discussing ways toward mindfully incorporating integrative health into our lives. This podcast will have informative resources, fun topics, interviews, and discussions relatable for today with a true mindful perspective in a mind-body, holistic life approach.
Hi, how are you? This is Damaris Murray-Grossman. I'm an integrative feminine practitioner, and today I'm kind of talking about endometriosis in another part series that I've developed and discussed because this is near and dear to my heart because unfortunately I also have endometriosis and was misdiagnosed for many years. And it became more in the forefront as I had a child. So today it's just about pain management and techniques that I use in a natural approach. I am not one in general, if you know me, integrative. So I try as much as possible to not have further pain meds. So the most that you'll see that I will take conventional is NSAIDs, but actually my favorite today, I will talk about the list that I will use and in the most holistic way. So first off, my favorite is magnesium. So let's talk lifestyle parts. So lifestyle one is it is best to have nutrient dense foods. And I would recommend an anti-inflammatory type diet. That doesn't mean I want you to eliminate things. I just want you to avoid things that may be causing that. So nutrient dense to avoid the inflammation because endometriosis is an inflammatory response disease and it actually is an autoimmune response and the body is not able to kind of clear out some of these lesions and these things, or they've come up because of stress and such. The recommendation is anti-inflammatory and nutrient-dense foods. These nutrient-dense foods are like great salmon, berries, turmeric, avoiding processed foods, sugars, food, dairy, gluten. Those are usually recommended. Now, on top of that is stress management, and I talk very extensively on stress management. If you've seen my posts and such, is because stress management, oxidized stress can affect many parts of the body. And in this situation, it is endometriosis. So this inflammation response is coming out in lesions in the uterus and different parts of the body and incorporated. I am very much so advocate of yoga, mindfulness techniques, guided meditation, and to help learning breathing techniques. All of these I personally use in not only for endometriosis, but all other health care needs that I've had, because let me tell you, if I did not, I would be on a roller coaster of medications that I didn't need. And I can control a lot of this within and what I put into my body. So as food as medicine, stress management, and breathing techniques, those just in general have helped. And then exercise as tolerated. Additionally, supplements outside of just food as medicine that can be used. I'm a big fan of magnesium. Magnesium glycinate for the evening or magnesium carbonate or citrate can be used. But with that, there's one that I use is Myocalm that has valerian and passion flower. And they have one that will also help you for sleep. L-theanine, which is a magnesium or green tea derivative. So with that, I will also recommend curcumin or turmeric, or like a golden chai tea that will have some turmeric in that. Vitamin D is very anti-inflammatory, usually about at least 2,000 IUs for patients. Omega-3. Now, there's different ways to get your omega-3 that will be very helpful for reduction in inflammation. You have to be careful when you're taking omega-3 because it is also a blood thinner. So, but there's algae like spirulina cholera that will give you omega-3s if you're a vegetarian. And then there's fish oil. And then there's zinc and selenium is also helpful for oxidative stress. I mean, my favorite really will always be magnesium and many types of magnesium. Follow one of my other podcasts on benefits of magnesium and the different types. Now, herbal remedies and Chinese remedies or just general herbs that are recommended. So I just talked briefly about passion flower, and passion flower is one of my favorites. There's another one to help with, so we're talking about balancing, right? So balancing hormones, you can use an herb called chest tea. Ashwagandha for stress management, inflammatory response, because then, again, stress management is part of that. Evening primrose, passion flower, chamomile, those are quite helpful with lowering the stress response, relaxation, and muscle relaxation. Techniques that can be used that are quite effective. I spoke briefly about yoga, meditation. You can also use techniques from therapists for the pelvic floor, a pelvic floor physical therapist, and an acupuncturist. Pelvic floor physical therapists are using to improve the function down below. I have used one, and acupuncture, I can definitely tell you they are helpful significantly. This will help with inflammation, but also will help with your muscle tone and things down there, bladder control, because endometriosis can affect many things. I have unfortunately been privy to more of it than I would like to. But I'm lucky to say that I was able to have one little precious boy, and I'm still alive from my post C-section, even though it was quite scary. I am due for surgery in January because this pain is just unbearable, and I don't want this to, hinder other people. I'm managing to the best of my ability because I don't want to be worse. And I also understand that it's like a management, it's a long-term thing, but if I can manage my inflammation, manage my stress, then get this procedure, because there might be a little bit more in there than I can handle, I will do that. As needed, I don't like to take NSAIDs, but NSAIDs are available, which are like ibuprofen. People do hormone therapy, and stronger medication is needed. I don't really recommend that personally. I think that hormone therapy and NSAIDs, if you really need them, they can be available and needed for those that are in severe pain. That's there, that's why it's needed. And then my case, I do have to get surgery. And most cases, to actually remove endometriosis lesions, they have to be incised. That is what has to do. Now, to help manage, like I was saying, that some of these protocols, they're help management. They're not going to cure endometriosis, but it's management. Just like I talk about diabetes, I talk about other inflammatory diseases like Hashimoto's and such. These are all about management, and they're understanding what's going on in the body. Another huge one will be your gut, your microbiome, your immune system, because your immune system, second immune system, is your gut. So when you understand that and you can fix some of the dysbiosis and leaky gut, you can really manage and do so much more. So yes, so there is things that will help with that, and that is things of working on healing the gut. So what you put in, so anti-inflammatory, nutrient-dense foods, the quality, lowering the inflammatory process, and then healing the gut with things to bring it back. My favorites are bone broth, glutamine, and nutrient-dense broths and foods to get you to that optimal self. Now, avoiding all of the junk, it's hard sometimes, but if you can at least get more of the nutrient dense in there, you're benefiting, as addition to protein. I hope this helps a little bit. This is my first one in reference to pain management for endometriosis. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out. Talk to you soon. Make sure you have a mindful way each and every day. Thank you for listening to the Mindfully Integrative Show with Dr. Damaris Murray-Grossman, family nurse practitioner. This podcast is for informational and educational purposes only and is not to substitute for professional medical advice, diagnose, or treat. Always consult your healthcare provider before making changes to your healthcare routine. Make sure to subscribe so you don't miss an episode. If you enjoyed our show, please support us by leaving a mindful review on Apple Podcasts or your favorite streaming platform. Interested in being a guest or more information? Email us at info@mindfullyintegrative.com. For resources mentioned in the show, visit our website at www mindfullyintegrative.com. You can also connect mindfully with Dr. Damaris on her social media links found on the site. May your strength and peace guide you to find a mindful way every day. Namaste.